Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a really fascinating collection of internet videos today, all from Brazil.
Yeah, it's quite a mix. Think of it like a quick snapshot, right? Into some really unique parts of Brazilian life, Brazilian thought.
Exactly. Just short clips, but they pack a punch.
For sure. And we've kind of curated these snippets to give you a window into different corners of society there. You've got politics, you've got, well, some pretty strange everyday stuff.
And our mission, if you will, is to sort of dive into these moments that seem kind of random, maybe,
Yeah.
and pull out what makes them, interesting, what gets you thinking.
Right. What's the story behind the story?
And to kick us off, there's this one figure who seems to be popping up a lot down there, a priest.
Ah, yes, Padre Lancellotti.
He's generating quite a bit of discussion, especially around the clearing of Cracolândia, the big crack cocaine encampment in São Paulo.
It's a very controversial topic.
And some critics have given him this, let's say, memorable nickname. Something about milk. We might get back to that.
He's been very outspoken against the clearing, wanting the users to return.
Which immediately makes you ask, well, what is the best way to handle something like that?
Yeah.
It's so complex. But let's put a pin in that for a second. Let's look at some of the other weird and wonderful things in these clips first.
Absolutely, because what really hits you is just the sheer variety,
Yeah.
Even in these short videos. Political stunts, weird street scenes, even like robots challenging our ideas of relationships.
You said it. Okay, so politics first. This one's from Minas Gerais, a city councilman, right? He brings a doll to a council meeting.
A reborn doll, yeah. Like one of those super realistic ones.
And he's doing it as a protest.
That was his explanation, yeah. He said it was about the lack of daycare facilities in the city. That was the reason he gave in the video.
So he's there, holding this doll, treating it like his actual baby, calls it his reborn baby, even has a little nickname for it.
Chuchuquina, I think.
Yeah. And she says he couldn't leave alone because there's no childcare. He actually says, my reborn baby can't stay home because there's nobody there. So from today, she'll be with me every day. I brought my baby to the city council.
It's certainly one way to make your point. Gets attention, you'd imagine.
Does it? Or does it just seem kind of ridiculous? I mean, you have to wonder about the effectiveness.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Does the message about needing daycare actually land? Or does everyone just talk about the doll?
He apparently doubled down, too. Said the doll had to be with him because, quote, there's no daycare for my reborn baby. They don't want to accept my reborn baby.
Right. So my little Chitina has to be with me here in the plenary.
It's memorable. I'll give him that. Provocative, like you said.
Definitely provocative. Okay, so from lifelike dolls protesting daycare.
Let's jump to something even more futuristic, maybe. Humanoid robot. Aria.
Ah, yes. This video was quite something. Designed for, well, intimacy and companionship.
Yeah, it gets right into that whole AI robotics thing and how it might change, fundamental human stuff. Connection, relationships.
It looked so real at first. I actually thought it was another one of those reborn dolls for a second.
Me too. But then they start talking about companionship, intimacy, and the price. $175,000.
Whoa, yeah. That's not pocket change.
Makes you really stop and think, doesn't it? About how we even define a relationship anymore.
And the video itself leaned into that. The narrator brought up how Aria might even be cheaper than getting married long term.
Right. And then that classic line, will guys still want to get married if she learns how to cook?
Yeah, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it touches on what different people might be looking for,
It does. I mean, some people might actually prefer a partner who doesn't talk back. Cooking skills aside, it's a strange thought.
It forces you to consider, well, what actually makes a relationship meaningful? Can you code that? Can tech really replace human connection? What happens when these things get more common?
Yeah, loads to think about there. Okay, completely shifting gears now. This next one. At first I thought, this has got to be Rio de Janeiro. But maybe not.
The fight at the traffic lights.
Yeah. Between a guy with a scump, a kotoko.
And a guy with one leg, a manco.
It's surreal. You see this happening and you can't quite believe it.
It's definitely unexpected. And, while it's probably not funny for the guys involved, there is a kind of dark absurdity to it.
Totally. And the woman filming it, her commentary is just gold. She's absolutely losing it laughing.
Oh, yeah, she's having a great time.
She's yelling things like, "The stump tried to trip the one-legged guy. Amen. Amen. This is amazing."
Oh, my God. What is this? What a dirty trick.
The guy knows he's being filmed. And then she finishes with, "I've got 1 foot in hell. What crap."
Her reaction is almost as much a part of the clip as the fight itself.
Definitely. And like I said, I initially pegged it as Rio. But listening to her accent, maybe not. Hard to tell sometimes.
It just shows how people find humor in, well, chaos, I guess. Those slightly unhinged moments. Maybe it's a cultural thing, finding the funny side.
Maybe. Okay, let's move to something a bit more serious now. Still confusing, though. This video is from Pernambuco.
Right, the one with the police car being vandalized.
Yeah, a guy's just going at it, smashing the car up. But the police officers, they're just standing there, seemingly doing nothing.
It's pretty jarring to watch, and the text on the video really pushes that point, asking, I'm not going to say anything, what was missing here. Invites you to judge, basically.
The person who shared it originally even added a comment like, they don't make police like they used to.
You can hear the smashing, the crowd yelling, and the sign says, Delegacia de Policia Fogados, police station, in Pernambuco.
And someone in the crowd says, he has a mental problem, which, okay, maybe that explains the police hesitation.
That's a possibility. Dealing with someone potentially in a mental health crisis, that requires a different approach usually. De-escalation, specific training. Maybe they felt unequipped.
But then, the guy who posted it, his take was different. He was blaming the judiciary, saying they've tied the police's hands, made them scared to act.
Right, scared of repercussions even when, public property is being destroyed right in front of them.
Which brings up that whole debate, doesn't it? How much power should police have versus, accountability? Where's the line?
It's a constant tension. Different people, different societies draw that line in different places, and it shifts over time.
True. Okay, let's lighten the mood again slightly. We found this really funny clip, a couple reenacting a sermon.
Pastor Claudio Duarte, about marriage intimacy.
That's the one. It's hilarious. The overlay says, a good sermon is one that makes you imagine the situation. And boy, did they imagine it.
Yeah, they really went for it.
They acted out the bits where the wife keeps trying to initiate things, morning, noon, night.
And the husband's reactions get funnier and funnier, just totally unenthusiastic.
Until the end, where he basically blames the pastor for putting ideas in her head. It's very relatable, I think. You can't help to laugh.
It definitely taps into those common couple dynamics, right? The occasional awkwardness around that stuff. And the fact that people make and share these reenactments shows it's kind of a shared cultural joke.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now for a completely different vibe, an interview with this businessman. Yeah. Very direct, very old school, as the text overlay called him, Reyes.
Right. Generation Z meets a Reyes businessman. It really highlights that clash, or maybe just difference, in thinking about work, motivation, management styles.
Well, the interviewer asks him, what do you do if your team's paid to work, but they're just not motivated?
And his answer is instant. No hesitation.
Fire them. Just like that. Unmotivated. Go find motivation elsewhere.
He calls it promoting liberation. He says, whoever thinks work is slavery, I promote liberation and manumission. Fire them. I only work with people who want to work.
Wow. Okay. That is blunt.
It's definitely uncompromising. Puts all the responsibility on the employee, right? Motivation comes from within. It's not the boss's job to create it.
You almost have to admire the clarity. It's certainly not the modern HR-approved approach, is it?
Not at all. It challenges that whole focus on engagement strategies, team building, all that stuff. His view is much more transactional, maybe.
If you're not pulling your weight, you're out. Simple as that. Okay, and that brings us kind of full circle back to Padre Júlio Lancellotti.
The priest from the start.
Yeah. Another video surfaced. Headline, Take Them Home. Priest slammed after criticizing end of Cracolândia.
So the controversy continues. It really shows how deep the divisions are on this issue. Drug addiction, homelessness, city policy. It's incredibly complex.
And he's still very much involved, still advocating for the people displaced from the encampment.
His argument seems to be that clearing the area didn't solve the problem. It just scattered it. He questions where people have actually gone.
He's saying the official story that everyone was offered help, clinics, whatever. He says that's not true. He wants the authorities to be straight about it.
And in this video, he interviews a man who claims he's from Cracolândia.
Right. And this man alleges some pretty serious stuff against the police beatings. Pepper spray.
Death threats, even.
And the priest seems to be, well, guiding him a bit, presenting these claims as fact.
Well, he's giving a platform to someone directly affected, presenting their side of the story. The man says he wasn't offered a clinic, wasn't offered work.
The priest keeps asking him about the police oppression, like he really wants to drive that point home.
He repeats the death threat claim a couple of times.
Yeah. And then the priest talks about needing the city to be humanly qualified.
His core message seems consistent.
Yeah.
Focus on humane support, welcoming people, not violence. He calls them brothers. He says Cracolandia is not a physical space, but the people.
But yeah, he's been involved for years, and the situation hasn't really improved, has it? His focus seems to be making these videos criticizing. Does that actually help?
It's a valid question. What constitutes effective action in such a difficult situation? There are no easy answers, and you have strong opinions on all sides: public health, safety, human rights.
Yeah, it's a real mess. So wow, that was quite a ride through just a few random videos from Brazil.
It really was. Political dolls, companion robots, street fights, management tips, and this whole ongoing Cracolandia saga.
It's a real spectrum, isn't it? A glimpse into a society dealing with all sorts of stuff.
Absolutely. And these clips, even though they seem disconnected, they kind of paint a picture, don't they, of modern Brazil, the internet's role in capturing these moments.
So as you, the listener, kind of process all this, what sticks with you? What do these little windows tell us?
Yeah.
About Brazil, sure, but maybe also about just human nature, the weirdness of the internet age.
Yeah, what's the bigger picture here? Definitely something to chew on after we finish up.